Hi everyone! Today, Louis Vuitton released a load of information and some more teasers for us on their forthcoming beauty range, which they say is going to be crafted with the meticulousness of couture. This is rather exciting. Watch on! I was with my colleagues this morning and I was barking a load of instructions at them, and I was somewhat distracted because my Instagram was pulsating because Louis Vuitton have released a load of pictures and teasers and more information on the new beauty line. Anyway, I was slightly distracted. I looked around and there was literally nobody who would have even any kind of remote interest in this, and it was a bit of a lonely feeling. At any rate, I excused myself, I jumped on the helicopter, I left the oil rig, and now I'm home so I can talk to you, because I think you will understand. China will be the first to benefit from the launch in that they are getting it on the 20th of August. The rest of us mere mortals are going to have to wait to either pre-order online on the 25th of August or in person in various boutiques and some concessions on the 29th of August. I think we knew those last two dates. So we have a little bit of time to prepare for our pilgrimage. Although that's probably a bit too strong a word, isn't it? Because it's, you know, it's not Lourdes, is it? Although it could be counted as the reverse of Lourdes in that we go in relatively healthy and perhaps come out a little bit worse for financial wear. But it could be worth it, who knows? I have to say, it's all very exciting, so there's lots to look at here. Dame Pat McGrath herself has said, and I've got a lovely quote here from her, remember she's the creative director, she has said that this beauty universe will unlock a new level of luxury beauty, and who am I to argue? Anyway, I'm going to have to put my glasses on. I mean, I'm not just going to have to put them on so that I can read, but also I think the eyeshadow pans are slightly small, so I need to be able to enjoy every speck, because every speck is sacred, to paraphrase Monty Python. I'm sorry. Anyway, let us go on to the next bit of information. We have here the most beautiful lipstick shades to look at. There are 55 shades. Now, I did wonder about that because it is a slightly odd number to me. Not that I'm particularly numerate, but it just did seem a particularly odd number. However, LV, of course, is Roman for 55. I'm not in a toga because it's in the wash at the moment. And if I had actually prepared for this video, I would have made sure that it was washed and ironed, but it's not. Anyway, that's why there are 55 shades. They are going to be called the LV Rouge lipsticks, okay? So it's a subtle nod to the Roman numerals of LV. However, as we know, LV does stand for Louis Vuitton, Monsieur Louis Vuitton to the rest of us. And actually, here's a picture of Le Grand Seigneur, and I do wonder what he would be thinking of this launch. You know, he looks like quite a serious chap. But making luggage, let me tell you, I've got the date here, I thought this was fascinating. 1864 is when he started making his trunks. So, I mean, the trunks as in, you know, you use them for packing, not swimming trunks, because that would be weird. But they probably do make them. But anyway, we're not here for that. So, my point is that we've got 55 lipsticks and we've also got some lip balms. Now, there are 27 creamy satin hues and 28 velvety matte lip shades, each promising to deliver richly pigmented colour. We wouldn't expect anything less, would we? Let's be honest. The lipsticks are formulated with upcycled waxes, I don't know what that means, from rose, jasmine and mimosa flowers, and therefore they will carry a distinct fragrance. Now, the one thing that I have learned in my life, and particularly in the 7 months today in the life of this channel, is that a lot of people really don't like fragrance in their makeup. So I don't know. I'm really sorry for you if this is going to be a real problem, because it's one thing to be able to, you know, shell out the cash. It's another thing then not to be able to buy it because the fragrance is horrible. So I don't know. Well, not horrible, but not good for you. Anyway, they are also enriched with shea butter, hyaluronic acid, and they are supposed to provide long-lasting comfort, as well as, this is key, 12-hour-long wear for the matte shades and 24-hour hydration for the satin shade. So that's worth knowing. The case is rather beautiful, isn't it? It does look rather lovely. Yeah. Anyway, there are also 10 LV Baume shades. These are the balms, scented with mint and raspberry. So basically, it's a raspberry mojito thrown in. That's fantastic news. There are also 8 LV Ombre, which are the eyeshadow palettes. Each palette comprises 4 eyeshadows, 3 everyday shades and 1, and I'm quoting here, which is a standout hue that shifts the mood, adds dimension, or ignites a spark of luxurious glamour. Who doesn't want that? The eyeshadows cover 6 finishes, from ultra matte to gleaming glitter. Also, the shimmer particles are wrapped in a translucent gel to reflect light and maximize a mirror-like shine. I'm so here for this if the formula is going to do something magnificent and magical and special. I'm ignoring the price. That's, you know, we either do it or we don't. But in terms of the actual formula, if the formula is going to do something that's thrilling and otherworldly, then that's something new, isn't it? You know. The eyeshadows really set the tone for La Beauté Louis Vuitton. They are bold, intentional, and made to be remembered, says Dame Pat McGrath. This is very exciting. Now, the range comes in aluminium and brass cases, and these have been designed by a very special industrial designer called Konstantin Gerchik. And here he is here. I'm so glad I'm wearing my glasses because, you know, I can kind of keep up and I feel very involved. But anyway, amongst other features, he has designed a monogram lipstick bullet with the name of the colour engraved on the refill. So none of that squinting and trying to work out on the back of your hand which lipstick it is, as happens to me quite a lot, Charlotte Tilbury. A window at the top of its casing on the shade that can be viewed. And, I like this one, listen to this, a floral motif lock system that allows only lipsticks and eyeshadows from La Beauté Louis Vuitton to be housed in these cases. Isn't that wonderful? Now, this chap, Konstantin Gerchik, I looked him up, very interesting, and I just want to fly the flag here for us in the United Kingdom. He studied arts and crafts cabinetry in Dorset, and then he studied industrial design at the Royal College of Art. I'm just saying, it's very easy to forget the United Kingdom's massive contribution to fashion and design. You know, we are important. So, I don't know, I kind of felt a little bit more involved. It's not just my glasses in this. Anyway, he has really gone for it. Now, what's interesting is while the cosmetics range is a first for the House of Louis Vuitton, as we know, and you know, I'm sure we've seen them on social media, if not in the boutiques, or even if we're very lucky, you know, owning them, the luxury brand has made vanity cases and beauty tools such as tortoiseshell hairbrushes, carved ivory mirrors, yes, that'll have been in a bygone era, I would imagine, and compacts and glass perfume flacons since the 1920s. As part of the launch, Louis Vuitton is using the monogram canvas. You know, that's the brown with the LV initials on it. So they're using that material to create some special items. So for example, we've got mini logo bags, which will house a lipstick, which is good because that will solve the international housing crisis for lipsticks. There are makeup brushes, and there's also 2 really good items. There is a case for blotting paper, which will retail at $560. I'm very relieved to hear about this. And also, look at this, a beauty wardrobe. That will retail at $980, and you will be able to house all of your lipsticks in this. So all your lipsticks, all your balms, and all your eyeshadows as well. It's so beautiful. And look, it's got little tassels that you can pull. It's really lovely. I really hope someone buys this for me for Christmas. In fact, I'm almost certain that no one will. There are also going to be some limited edition lipstick pouches, which we see here, and that looks like it's in the epi leather. So it's leather as opposed to the synthetic canvas. So what that means is, you can see from the little attachment, I really like that Louis Vuitton do this. I'm such a fan of this generally in their handbag range. It just means you can clip it onto the inside of your handbag. You won't be rootling around for your lipstick because it'll be all neatly housed. Yeah, I'm sort of here for these, I'm afraid. I do realise this is not beauty. This is, you know, whatever it is, fashion. Handbags aren't fashion, they're a necessity, they are life. But anyway, so the brand is positioning the products in its new beauty line as keepsakes and objects of desire. Oh, we'd all like some of those in our lives. So this will add to Louis Vuitton's ensemble of the brand's die-hard fans, apparently. Let's see, I think we'll be the judge of that, won't we? Now let's get on to the makeup. Let's get on to that. Now let's look at these eyeshadow quads. There's quite a lot to enjoy here. I do just want to tell you about the first one on the top left, 150. And this is one that has actually been highlighted by the brand themselves. It's called Harmony 150, as you can see, and it's called Beige Memento. Inspired by the patina of Louis Vuitton's leather, a trio of gold and bronze paired with a rich and daring ivory. Who knew? Actually, ivory probably is daring now, isn't it, given that it's a banned substance. But anyway, so I think what they're referring to is that vachetta leather, which is, you know, it's untreated and it's very pale when you buy the handbag, and then with grime, in my case, with grime and, you know, peanut butter and Marmite and grubbiness, it sort of darkens and the patina gets more bronzy. Yeah, depending on whether you like it like that or not. But anyway, it does become a richer colour. So presumably it's a nod to that. So, you know, that does look to me like the quad that would suit everybody. I feel that about 250 as well, as a cooler shade, as sort of an equivalent. But take a look, and I'm interested to know what you think. Which of these is of interest to you? Regardless of whether you would actually buy one or not, which is the colourway that's of interest? I mean, for me, I'm attracted to the blues, but those blue shades at 950, I think they need to be doing something a lot more special, because we've had lots of blues and greens recently, and actually I am quite wedded, as some of you will know, to the Denim Dimensions of Charlotte Tilbury. Now I do appreciate that that is £49, and now that suddenly looks like a drugstore brand, doesn't it? Proving that I have finally understood Einstein's theory of relativity. Oh, look at me. Anyway, my point is that I really like that, and I find it a very usable palette, and I think lots of people have found that about Denim Dimensions. So this needs to be doing something really special. However, there is a shade that is of interest to me, which is that kind of taupey shade. That does look interesting. So that may well be one of, I don't want to use the phrase special shade, because that means something else, doesn't it, in the world of motherships, but maybe it is a bit more special. So I will look at that with interest. There's also 951, which is the greeny one with the khaki shades. And I do like that peachy tone at the top. I mean, it looks peachy to me. I don't know whether it looks peachy to you, but let's see. There's also some very rich shades. Look at 450. Now, isn't that a good kind of eggplanty, aubergine, Halloween-y shade? That looks quite good. And there's a very nice kind of deep grey at the bottom, you know, like at 6 o'clock. It looks grey, but there is a bit of plum in there, I think. Next to it, 650, I know I'm jumping around, but I am a bit like that. I'm sorry, I do apologise. At 650, I like these. They've got these kind of, I don't know, I was going to say honeysuckle, but it's not really a honeysuckle. I don't know what it reminds me of, and it's not quite cherry blossom. It's more like sort of camellias. It's got that sort of softness, that soft peachy pinky tone, but that does look rather lovely. And then at 350 we've got proper pinks, which look lovely. I am here for a bit of pink. We've had so many pink palettes though, haven't we? So many. But is one more going to make a difference? Probably at these prices it will, but let's see. And then at the bottom, 896, again, look at that burgundy. I mean, burgundy's probably the wrong name for it. Let me know what that shade is. I'm very bad at describing shades, I realise that. But that looks nice as well, because you have got those slightly more neutral tones there as well. And again, is the special shade, it looks like maybe the special shade moves around. Maybe it's not always at 12 o'clock, or is it? Because in the blue, maybe the special shade is that light blue. I don't know. I do want to know more. They've given us so much information, and yet it's never enough. It's never enough. What do you think to these? Which of these is of interest? Which one would you pick out immediately as the one that you would buy? And maybe the others would be refills, I don't know. But who knows? Maybe you are sitting on piles and piles and piles of gold ingots, in which case share the love. Go on. Yeah, they look good though, don't they? Now, Pat McGrath, there's a very nice quote here. Oh, have I lost it? Hold on a second. Technical hitch. I wrote it down. She says that this range is the fusion of artistry and technology and of heritage and innovation. I do like that actually, because they've got the word heritage in there, which justifies everything. They've got innovation, so hopefully they're going to give us something. They've put technology in. Okay, more of the same, let's see. I don't want to say special shades, but I'm kind of thinking special shades. And then artistry, and you know, what does Dame Pat McGrath give us, and what is she synonymous with? Artistry. So I don't know, this has got quite a lot of things going on that are worth thinking about, I feel. At the time of filming, I don't have swatches of either the eyeshadows or the lipsticks, but we can look at the lipsticks here in the cases, starting from the range where it starts at 100. So we can see some sort of your lips but better kind of shades, but again, you know, it's hard to get a sense, isn't it, without swatches, but it gives us a little bit of a flavour. It looks like an immense range of shades, so you may find some here that you're particularly interested in. I'm looking at 201 there, that's the kind of shade that I do quite like. But again, you know, until you see the swatches on different skin tones, you know, we kind of won't know. But they're certainly going quite dramatic as well. If you look at 112, that's a lovely, rich, deep kind of wine shade, I think. And then we've also got some real pops of colour. Look at 601, that's a really bright orangey coral shade from what it looks like, and 600 as well. But again, looking at these pictures, you've got sort of, look at 405, I mean, such rich tones there for all skin well, I say all, hopefully all, you know, skin shades as well, so, and skin tones, so that's all good. Hopefully the packaging is as weighty as I would like to believe it is, but you know, let's see. But there's lots here to enjoy. Which are your favourites? What sort of catches your eye? Yeah, I mean, when the original teaser ad came out, was it last week? Or it might have been the week before. There was a really beautiful matte red. And again, from here, I can't tell which one's a matte and which one's a satin. But there was a really beautiful matte red shade. And I did think to myself, because I'm not a red lipstick person, maybe this would be the time to take the plunge with a red. But then also, if I buy one and I don't use it, it really is just going to be sitting there, because I won't want to give it away, and I certainly won't want to throw it away, but you know, I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot here to choose from, and I would imagine there's something here for everybody. I mean, that's an awful lot of lipstick, isn't it? 55. So, and I don't know whether it means that there's a matte shade and a satin, there's a matte version and a satin version of the lipstick that you like. I don't know whether that's the case or not. There are also the lip balms to look at, and honestly, these colours, they do look lovely. Again, I don't have a sense to share with you of what the, you know, how sheer they are and all of that. However, I do like these shades. I mean, they are kind of shades that are right up my street. In fact, I think I would wear all of them. That's a worry, isn't it? It really is a worry. Yeah. What do you think? If you were going to buy one lip product, would you make it a lip balm or would you make it a lipstick? I mean, the packaging is white, so that's nice. It's sort of there is a freshness to it, but you know, we are coming into fall autumn, so I don't know whether that means that one would prefer a fuller lipstick. I'd love to know what, if anything, you are tempted to buy and what you think you might buy. Is it of interest? I know it's exciting. I know it's all really lovely, and I'm as excited as anybody. However, these prices are really something else, and it's real money, isn't it, at the end of the day? And there's nothing worse, for me anyway, of having a feeling that I've kind of overspent and been a bit silly, and frankly, someone else has benefited from my impetuosity. So I do think this is a range that we can kind of enjoy from afar, frankly. I don't think we have to partake in it. I really don't. Yeah, because I suppose I just kind of feel they're weaponizing FOMO. However, I am happy to kind of have a look and get excited as much as anybody. In the meantime, just in case, I am off to the pawn shop, so I might see you there. And I'll certainly see you in the next video. Bye.